On the agenda tonight, we're going to be taking a look at vocal coach Cheryl Porter. Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus and welcome to another analysis video. If you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. So, recently on the channel, I've been throwing in a few more guitar-based videos, looking at performances, breaking them down a little bit, and we've done that recently with Billy McLaughlin and Tracy Chapman as well. The pitch correction and auto-tune videos are in there as well, and it always seems to happen that another request comes in that I have got to do a video on because it just changes the landscape of everything, not only in the music industry. In this particular case, it's vocal coaching and whether we're actually hearing what's going on or whether things have been pitch corrected. Now, for me, full disclosure at the beginning of this video, Cheryl Porter is a fantastic vocal coach from what I've seen on YouTube, and we're going to be taking a look at one of her videos actually with a student of hers. But she's a great teacher, and seeing it and the way that she teaches and the rapport that she has with this particular student is great, because being a guitar teacher myself for so long, but just under 20 years, I can appreciate great teachers and great coaches, and she is one of those. But as all of the analysis videos that I make are objective, when somebody requested that I looked at Cheryl Porter and her vocal exercise videos, on the back of which she's selling her vocal course, I thought I would take a look at it, because I thought, well, a vocal coach isn't going to be using pitch correction because they're selling their product. And then the more you think about it, you think, well, are they making their voice sound better or more accurate because it will sell more of the product? So I did dive into it, and we're going to see exactly what's going on. So we're going to be jumping into a few videos in exactly the same way that I did when I was asked to check out Cheryl's channel. I just clicked on some random exercise videos and the video of her with the student, which we will look at as well, just to cross-reference a few things. But this is the first one that I looked at, so let's have a look.
Me, me, mama, moo. Hey! That's right. E-A-I-O. Woo! Me, mama, moo. E-A, me, mama, moo. Keep it precise, real clean. Let's go.
So I'm just going to jump in here. Obviously, I've run the vocal through the pitch monitoring software so we can see what's going on. And I mean, immediately, because we do have the isolated vocal as well, we can listen to that. But immediately, there is something weird going on with this. And I mean, again, just to let you guys know that Cheryl isn't singing this. She's just pretending to do it because it's all been pre-recorded. And in some of the exercise videos, she does talk over the top of her pre-recorded voice. So you know that it's not a live thing. So just not to take this as what it looks like or on face value that she's actually singing this. She's not. She's just allowing it to go through and then doing the yes and all of the other stuff in between the vocals. But have a listen again.
Me, mama, moo. Hey!
You can actually hear the pitch correction working as she's going through this exercise. And yes, it is pitch corrected. So the first point that I'm going to make is, why pitch correct a vocal exercise of all things? If anything, the vocal exercises are the things that you're using for technique, and you're not being really strict with pitch like you would do in a performance. And then even in a performance, you're never going to get as accurate as a pitch corrected vocal. But we're actually going to listen to it, not that I have before, but we'll listen to this in slow motion just to see what it sounds like.
Me, mama, moo.
Ah, there we go. It was that B4 that was getting squashed, and we can see that it is being squashed to the line. It's being just fixed to A440 tuning, A440 hertz. 440 hertz is where your A4 would be. That's the tuning that we're relating this to, and people that have watched the channel for a long time will know that that is standard tuning, and that is what pitch correction is calibrated to. So yeah, this was the first video that I looked at, and even without doing the analysis, I could hear that it was just 440 hertz. That's just what, unfortunately, just gets stuck in my ear. It irritates my ear when it's a voice that is like a keyboard. It's not actually like a keyboard. It's exactly the same as a keyboard, because this is what A440 is all about. It's what keyboards are tuned to. So yeah, this is why it sounds a bit weird, but we'll kind of let it play through a bit more. I mean, you'll see this kind of thing all the time being kind of snapped to the lines.
Keep it precise.
I'm just going to jump in here because this is what is a bit strange, and everyone's going to have their different views on this. But when we now know that the vocal is pitch corrected, when she says to keep it precise, I mean, you're well within your rights as a singer, and maybe somebody who's purchased her course off the strength of this. You would say, well, how do you want me to keep it precise? Do you want me to sing through the exercise first and then buy a pitch correction plugin and use that on my voice? Or do you want me to keep it precise and try and do it like this, but it's physically impossible to do? Because even Cheryl can't do this. It's an impossibility to, especially hitting these scales dead on 440 hertz. It's not the way that the human voice works, and it's not the way that Cheryl's voice works, because I know, because we will go to her singing later on in this video, through every single vocal exercise, everything that we've just listened to there, Cheryl is perfectly on A440 tuning. So it means that if she ever misses a note in her life doing anything, a vocal performance, any other exercises, you can say that that is an anomaly. That is something that doesn't normally happen. So what's going on that she's now missed a note? Because she's perfect all the time. And this is the problem with using pitch correction, is you're setting the bar at a level that is impossible to replicate. Cheryl will never be able to do this without pre-recording it and pitch correcting it. And then again, you can argue about ethics and all that kind of stuff of should you be selling a product that this is advertising, and this is supposed to be the product of purchasing the product, using all of the exercises that she's taking you through. You're never going to be able to sing it this accurately, because nobody can, and Cheryl can't. So yeah, I do agree with the person that requested this, that it could be seen as misleading, saying you can learn to sing like this and, you know, keep it precise, but you've got to know that you can do the exercise and then to get it like this, use pitch correction, because that's what's being used. Again, you can argue, as a consumer, should I buy the course or should I buy pitch correction? What is going to serve me more as a singer, doing this course, or just not even buying a course? Because this is using pitch correction, and I guarantee you that your pitch will increase a lot more, a lot faster, literally with a click of a button, with pitch correction than it will with vocal exercises. Because vocal exercises, you'll never get on 440 hertz if that's what you're aiming for. So it's just easier to go, and just record it, now pitch correct it, so it's going, nah, and now it's perfectly where it should be. So yeah, and by the way, that wasn't me. That wasn't pitch correction, me singing that scale. And that's how ridiculous it would be. I mean, how far this rabbit hole goes is now ridiculous, that it would be like me going through my own analysis video and now pitch correcting my scale that I just sung because I want to be seen as a perfect vocalist. But we're starting to get the idea. We're now going to jump into the second video that I checked out, so we'll jump into this.
Clap, 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 clap.
Oh, this is another thing, that they're just doing these claps. We caught the end of it here, even going clap, 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 clap. These are perfectly pitch corrected. They're perfectly on these lines. Again, even with these really precise but very staccato phrases. So we'll just listen on.
I love it.
Ooh, yum, 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 yum.
Relax.
Yum, 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 yum. Ee-ah.
Actually, there's a good example of the backing track and then her not singing because she went to an ooh instead of an e, I think there.
Ooh, yum, 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 yum.
Relax.
Yum, 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 yum. Ee.
There you go. She's going in e, e, like that with an ooh. Try and do an e with that ooh mouth. It's going to be impossible. But anyway, we know that she's not singing. And the thing is that, I mean, the pitch correction on this isn't really heavy like some of the songs that we've seen in the past, but it's quite severe. Like, some of the notes are probably where she was singing them, but I'm just going to let it play through. Okay, here is the next bombshell. This exercise is about, you know, breathing and singing the whole phrase. I'm just going to take this back.
Yum, yum, yum. Ee-ah. Ooh.
All of this. And we've got this really long line, but we've actually got drop-ins here. And what drop-ins are, in the studio, when you're singing something, you might, or somebody might mess up a word or mess up the end of their phrase. So you keep the first bit and you do a drop-in to then take the second bit. And what you can hear is Cheryl breathing while the note is still going on. When that's coming through, you can hear happening at the same time. So it means that even this phrase, which is supposed to be about, you know, support and keeping the notes really even and singing long phrases, for this example, she's taken a breath halfway through in order to sing this phrase the whole way through. But again, we do look at things in detail, but the more you look into it, the more you listen out for it, you realise not only is it pitch corrected, but she's doing drop-ins in these examples. And it's still, I mean, it begs the question, I don't understand why you need to be this strict. I know, I can hear people answering, well, because she's selling a course. But I just don't understand. You want to give your students a realistic expectation of learning to sing. So that, you know, you don't say to the student, oh, by the way, don't worry about doing these exercises the whole way through because I, as the coach, did a drop-in. You know, I don't know. Let's listen on.
Ooh, yum, 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 yum. Yum, 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 yum. Ee-ah. Ooh.
Same thing again there before the ooh. There's a breath off, you know, while she's still singing ah. So again, that's another drop in for the next time through.
Ooh, yum, 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 yum. Yum, 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 yum. Ee-ah.
We might have had another drop in there. Let me listen.
Yum, 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 yum.
Yes, right. So now we've got this yum, 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 yum. And then the E comes in while the you can hear the vibrato on the yum. So it means that she's going record, yum, 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 stop, breath, record, and then she might even be doing another drop in, I don't know. And stop recording. And then starting recording that. So she's literally blocking, when I say blocking, singing in blocks. So she's not doing it all in one phrase. She's recording, stopping, recording, stopping, recording, stopping for all of these vowels, which is not the exercise. The exercise is singing all of these vowels one after the next. But she's not doing it. Oh, I don't know.
Ooh, yum, 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 yum. Yum, 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 yum.
Good job. Nice. Just relax.
And here's the example of her talking over the top, so you know that she's not singing. But what I'm saying is that she's recorded this in a studio setting and done drop-ins. So it's nothing really to do with what we're looking at. We're listening to what's actually gone on in order to get this final result. As you guys know, I do like to be thorough on the channel, so this was the third video that I looked at. Let's have a listen to this.
Now you know this, Cheryl, for the vocal exercise, you gotta dance. You see it?
I'm just gonna take down the backing because even there, the C5, when we're listening out for that, you can hear that that is being pitch corrected, actually quite aggressively.
You gotta dance. You see it? Come on, baby.
And pitch corrected the same note. Actually, no, the B4 this time because we've gone down a semitone in the exercise. But now that same note is being snapped to the line. Same again, so semitone lower, snap to the line.
Yes.
Same again, snap to the line.
Come on, baby.
Oh, and you can actually hear the processing on that one, snap to the line. So what we've got with this exercise, and we know this from looking at so many great singers, that they don't do this. It's impossible to hit this note every time on this line. There will be some variation just because of the way that the vocal cords work. They're vibrating and getting always stuck. I mean, it just so happens that this one note is being snapped. Because it's being held, it's the note that probably sticks out the most. So when she was doing this exercise in the studio, because it's a held note, if she was slightly flat or slightly sharp, it's going to stand out. So that's why it's been pitch corrected every time. Okay, yeah, so this is now taking it up a level with pitch correction because it does start to sound computerized. And I think the problem here is me ma me ma moo is that it's low in Cheryl's range, so it's more difficult for her to sing naturally, so the pitch correction is doing more of a job in order to get this, you know, right over the line.
You got this. You hear that voice just opening up. You hear that resonance. It's crazy.
Do you hear that pitch correction? That is crazy, in my opinion.
You hear that? That is training. Hear that? The intonation. You got it, baby. You.
Yeah. So, something like that, saying, this is training, listen to that intonation, and intonation is like the accuracy of notes. And I've said about my guitars, when the intonation's been slightly out from one octave to the next, the note is slightly off when the intonation is out. So having great intonation, if you're using pitch correction, you are gonna have that because you actually haven't got it, but pitch correction has it. Perfect intonation. That's what it does. So when you apply it to a vocal, yeah, of course you're gonna get it. You guys can let me know in the comments section whether, if you're watching a vocal coach performing a vocal exercise and you had that on the screen, this vocal example has been pitch corrected, whether it would change your opinion of the vocal that we're listening to.
Me me mama, hey, that's right.
Because for me, first of all, I think, well, why are you pitch correcting the vocal exercise? But I mean, maybe we can go back. Yeah, so here at the end, when it now gets to the point of selling the course,
On improving your singing voice with me, just sign up for my online singing course at CherylPorterMethod.com and use the coupon code PRACTICE to get an extra $10 off.
So now when we're getting into promoting the course and selling the course, if at the top it had this vocal example has been pitch corrected, would it now influence your decision of buying this course or not, given that what we've just heard wasn't actually a real vocal? So, I mean, it is interesting, and I know, like I've already said, Cheryl's a great teacher, and she's got 20 million, maybe more than that, subscribers on YouTube, and I think maybe she's been on TV in the USA. We don't know her here in the UK, so she's not somebody that I'd heard of before. But looking, I mean, obviously this is her business, this is what she does, but just the fact that the exercises have been pitch corrected, and not only that they've been recorded and dropped into, and overdubbed, and the exercise hasn't really been completed as an example by the coach. I want to finish this video by looking at Cheryl teaching this student, and I mean, this student has a fantastic voice, but this gives you an example of Cheryl's teaching and what a great teacher she is. So let's just have a listen to this.
Perfect. Everybody, keep that position. Keep it open, baby.
And I mean, I have run this lesson through the pitch monitoring software, so you can see that Cheryl was flat here, even when we've got the keyboard giving a reference to pitch of A440, which is what she's been hitting in all of the exercises perfectly. So you can say that this is the anomaly. Suddenly she's missed a note. Why is she missed a note when she's been perfectly on pitch for all of the exercises? What's happened here is there's been a shift in the force. What's the explanation for this? The explanation is that by pitch correcting vocals, you are setting the bar at a level that can never be achieved. So that when you're then seen to miss a note, and this will be happening all the time, but people will start to question and go, oh, why are you now missing notes? And if people buy the course and then maybe listen to this, they'll think, well, can the course get me as accurate as the exercises or not? Because the vocal coach is now missing notes. Anyway, you can understand the problem that a pitch correction starts to bring into the equation, this problem of impossible standards to do with pitch. But let's listen on.
Again.
And by the way, this kid has amazing pitch, but obviously she isn't going to be on the lines all the time, but she does hit lines now and again, so she's already got the pitch of a great singer. But I mean, we'll notice, I'll skip through this, but you'll see.
Everybody! Yeah. Everybody! Come on.
See there, great example. Little bit sharp, but pretty much bang on, and then flat of the note. But you can't hear that it's flat, and that's the point about great singers. They don't sing to 440 hertz, A440 tuning, standard tuning. They don't sing to that. I mean, listen to how accurate she is at singing this scale, but if we're now analysing this in detail, comparing it to the exercises that we've seen previously, look at where these notes are falling. Way sharp, and when I say way sharp, according to standard tuning, A440 hertz. But look at the way that she does hit it there. So she's got that ability, and then look, sharp again. And here, almost halfway between the notes, so sharp, and then here, flat. But again, me saying this is not saying that she can't hit pitches accurately. Here, pretty much spot on, slightly above the line, slightly below the line, but this sounds perfect. So this is actually the perfect example of a vocal that sounds perfect that isn't on the lines. And people message me saying, oh, but check out this singer because they've got the ability to sing on the lines. No, they haven't. They sound like they are as accurate as you can be, but that means they're not on the lines. There's such a massive difference between the two.
Awesome.
I mean, that just sounds great. So spot on. We're going to skip forward just a bit here. Let's go to here.
Okay. I love mama. I love mama.
And again, I mean, look how flat we are here. And I don't know whether you can see it, but we'll zoom in. But here's the example of, again, the anomaly. Like, how is Cheryl missing these notes by so much? Because it's not pitch corrected. And it doesn't really matter. It's an exercise. And this is why the pitch correction in the exercises doesn't make sense, because they're exercises. If anything, as a coach, you should say, when you're doing exercises, don't worry about getting on lines of 440 hertz because it's impossible anyway. Just try and get as close as you can. That is good enough. I will say as well that I like the way that Cheryl is teaching, because she's teaching the student to sing with vibrato, without vibrato, because it's something that she does naturally. The she always kind of applies that wobble, so going and holding a note straight and then applying vibrato. You know, all of these things that are great to have. I mean, I think this student is only about, what, 9 or 10 years old or something like that. So she's got an amazing voice for where she is at this age, but it's good that Cheryl's teaching about the different techniques of being able to hold a note, and vibrato, hitting vibrato immediately, cutting off phrases quickly, because there's so much in there that is missed by a lot of singers.
Nice.
Don't change the position. Then keep it open, baby.
I mean, it's that kind of thing. Hearing that change in the voice, where the resonance is happening, where the voice is positioned, and Cheryl just picks up on it immediately. And, you know, is always just directing the student in the right direction without kind of forcing them there, saying, oh, that was not right, you've got to do this. It's kind of gently, you know, letting the student understand, appreciate, but not to the point of then not enjoying it. She now knows what the goal is. So, I mean, this is kind of the art form of teaching really well that Cheryl's got here. Oh, here, now, she's going to be singing at this age, I'll Always Love You. And they're listening to Whitney's voice, and I do have an analysis video on Whitney Houston if you want to check that out. And by the way, Whitney Houston didn't sing on these lines. She wasn't pitch corrected. So let's have a listen to this.
So I'll go.
So immediately, look at, this is the voice that they're trying to emulate or be as accurate as. And instantly you can see that Whitney is flat. And let me just take that back again. We'll listen to it again.
So I'll go, but I know straight.
And there, look how flat she was there. She's between the C4 and the C sharp 4. So Whitney Houston is so bad with her pitch that she's missing notes exactly halfway, 50 cents between one note and the next note. 100 cents is the difference between a semitone, one note and the next note. So this is how inaccurate she is. So you've got to start asking the question, why the fixation on pitch correction? If you're trying to get as good as Whitney Houston, and she didn't do it. Let's just have a listen.
If I... No. If I...
Not if I, but if I. It does a sfumato.
I can
Try it.
If I should stay.
And I mean, just watching this through, I love watching this kind of thing as a teacher, because you can see the student, you can see the cogs turning, and she's learning, and it's great. And she's just got a great voice. Anyway, I'm going to leave the link to this video in the description below, so you guys can watch the whole lesson if you want to, because yeah, it's just a great watch. It's getting away from the perfection and getting more into the expression. You know, that's what I think personally should be focused on, you know, because that's what great singers used to do. And I'm not sure if great singers in the future will get the same recognition as the singers from, you know, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago when you heard their natural voice, because now we're not hearing the natural voices anymore. It's always pitch corrected after it's been performed in the studio. So we're now getting a replacement vocal to take the place of what actually happens. So yeah, it's very difficult for any singer now to stand out because they're being pitch corrected. So they're all the same now. They're all as accurate as each other and they all have the same expression. But anyway, I know that this video's gone on for ages, but thank you guys for requesting this analysis video in the first place. As always, let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. Keep those suggestions and requests coming as well. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys at the next one. Rock!